I did it. Look at this. What is up, guys? This is massive. Oh, I think you might notice there's something over there, but let's get into it. This took me about 2 weeks to build. This is probably the most massive thing I will ever build for You Brick It, You Buy It. Just as a little reminder for you guys, for anyone who may be coming a bit late into the series, this is You Brick It, You Buy It number 4, I believe, and that's a series where I try and recreate Lego sets that already exist with just the pieces that I have. Like you'll see, this is a bit janky. Just ignore that part. But yeah, and then I give them rating at the end based on how well I could do it. This took me so long, so I would really appreciate if you subscribed. So let's just get into it. I'll give my commentary as we go along, but let's start at the lower levels. Down here we have the lower levels. You build it kind of like level by level, which is actually interesting because if you look at the Death Star 2 from Return of the Jedi, there's 2 chunks missing, implying they build it kind of left to right. So that would be kind of more accurate and interesting if they did it that way. But I guess that would be kind of harder to do, and I just like it more accurate, I guess. But let's move down here. You'll see I built with the gray pieces. There's so many little gray pieces, little plates that I used here. I used them all up here pretty much, and then I ended up having to color bricks. As we go up, you'll see it's like the rainbow Death Star. But yeah, lower level, they really crap the bed with the design on the lower levels. There's literally just like 2 canisters. There's some like red and blue canisters, and that's it. Which makes it kind of really boring to actually build. Because you're essentially just doing the same thing 4 times, and you're not even like accessorizing it. Except there is this little notch here where you put the swamp monster from this, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, actually, we'll probably get to that right now because there's literally nothing else to say about this level. Also, usually there would be like stormtroopers here. There's a lot of minifigures. I think there's like over 20 in this set. I did recreate all of them in the opening montage. You'll probably see a few of them. Like, you'll remember they were in there. But I did end up disassembling them for another project. It's a little teaser. But yeah, so not all the figs. There are going to be some, like you'll see Obi-Wan Kenobi's here. But yeah, that's going to be all that I'll show for fig-wise, are the ones that'll just be scattered out randomly. But yeah, continuing on, we've got a pretty cool play feature here. I was able to actually recreate this pretty well. It's pretty easy if you just have brown pieces. I ended up having to color these because I had no like brown tile pieces. But the technique is actually pretty easy. It's pretty much just like long bridge pieces, and then you can do this, which is pretty cool. And actually the monster and the figs won't get knocked over, but it'll look like they'll get crushed, which is actually pretty cool. And it goes, you just push it in, goes like that. It's actually awesome. Moving on the second level, we got this awesome turret build, which is actually really one of my favorites. Like just the detail here. This is really cool. This would originally be a tube piece, but I ended up using these kind of Technic pieces and popped them in there. It seemed to work pretty well. Usually there would be green things here and here, but I didn't have a lot of green translucent pieces, as you'll see here. I kind of gave up. But yeah, moving on, there's a cool straight piece there. Loading dock, R2-D2, you can pop them up. This is another play feature. You can move them up and down. And then he comes up here. And then we got, this like loading bay was probably my least favorite one, because there's just like, I don't remember if there was like even a loading bay in the movie, but it just felt kind of, oh, this broke off. But this is kind of boring. You just got like this claw piece. The R2-D2 is kind of cool, but yeah, it definitely was kind of painstaking doing the lower levels, knowing that the higher levels were so cool, because they kind of have the lamer ones on the lower levels. Because yeah, they got this giant open space where Luke swings from one side to the other. They got this stuff. Pretty boring here too. This was just kind of painstaking to build, because this is when I was starting to run out of gray pieces, because I didn't have enough, so I had to start painting around here. And I think I used black here, but then I end up having to run out of black too, and I move on to rainbow pieces, especially with the like plate pieces, because I used them like all here, not knowing that I would need them. But yeah, and then final piece here is I showed Obi-Wan Kenobi on that little infamous place where he's kind of doing the stuff while Luke's going across here. He has this little like platform. which honestly I didn't think it's not my favorite build, but yeah. Oh, and this made me remember another thing I forgot to mention about this is this door actually opens up. Usually there would be an elevator that goes all the way up throughout all the levels, but that was way too hard to build because it used rubber band pieces, and honestly by the time I got to the end, it's like literally the last thing you build, and I literally ran out of pieces. This thing is so massive. But yeah, I couldn't even color. But you move this thing back and forth and it moves that through there, and I'm just coloring it because I ran out of brown pieces, but it works just the same. And then also this was about the same time I ran out of big plate pieces, so I ended up having to color them, but it doesn't like affect it too bad. It's fine, it's whatever. But yeah, and now we can finally move up to the exciting part, the third layer. Yeah, I don't even count this as a layer. I'm gonna call it the second layer. That layer, Lego just screwed up that one real bad. But moving on here, this is my favorite one, the hallway. Usually there would be more red here. I would have a sticker, but I didn't. It still kind of gives the illusion that you're going all the way down. It gives that like infinite hallway illusion. This is the prison scene from the first movie when they break Princess Leia. Aren't you too short to be a stormtrooper? You guys remember that one? Well, this is kind of delicate. You'll see I had to color these too. But this is kind of cool control room. This opens up and actually leads down into here, like in the movie. So it's actually pretty accurate there when they do the escape and they end up in there. And then the second one is Princess Leia's cell, which is actually pretty cool. I actually forgot I had Leia in there. But yeah, so we still got her in there. And then this opens up actually. Or it was already open, but this opens up, as you'll see here. And then the rest is just infinite hallway, which is cool. This is the biggest level, which is probably why there's the most stuff in it. We get the laser, which I'll say I crapped the bed on. This was kind of bad. I did this. It was kind of one of the last things I did, to be honest. But it was a lot better, but some of the pieces fell off. I won't give excuses, but yeah. This is a laser build. You can actually move it back and forth, which is pretty cool. There's this ladder. There's these little pieces up here, whereas the control room is kind of open. This actually opens. Speaking of open, this opens up. And you can kind of go into the loading bay here. This is like a famous Star Wars door, this style, which I thought was pretty cool. So you just into here, it's a perfect transition. We got the ship, which is missing pieces, of course, because they fell off and then I lost them. But yeah, we got the TIE Fighter. This opens up. You can actually pop a minifig in here if you want to. I think this like holder piece is pretty cool actually, because it holds it. It's pretty creative, but yeah. This is the loading bay. You got those little arrows. Also not very furnished, but we can move on to the final one, the Emperor's Throne Room, where we only got one of these guys because the other one I had to use. But yeah, we got the classic little blue things here. This actually pops off, another play feature, like when Luke jumps up here and Vader uses the Force to stop him. You can push this down and he falls. And there's some more classic blue canisters that Lego just throws in here for some reason. But yeah, let's get a better view of this. You actually got the window behind him, which I thought was cool. And it also ends up showing here, which I thought was really cool. So we got that. And then his chair actually moves, believe it or not. Pretty cool. Not much else to say here. Moving on to the final layer here. We got this. This is technically the same size as here. The bottom layer there, but you'll see how much detail Lego threw into this one. They just did not give a crap about that, but apparently they love the top layer. So we got these turrets. You can move them, and I love these because like they actually look like Star Wars turrets. Of course, they look more like Star Wars turrets in the actual set because these kind of suck. But you can actually move them up and down, and you move them there. So it's like those turrets on the top of like Star Destroyers and stuff that track ships and actually shoot them down. I thought it was really cool. I know that's Star Destroyers, but they're also in Death Star. Let me move over here. All right, I just have to move it here while I push the thing. We got this, the room where Vader comes in and he chokes everybody. This is kind of where all the Imperials meet up. There's supposed to be a chair there. I think it fell off somewhere. But yeah, we got the table here. Usually it would be one solid piece, but actually I ended up just having to use tiles and painting them, which I think worked out too. This blue thing is not in the original set either, or the phone. Most of the stuff on the table I added for detail because I thought it was pretty cool, which it makes up for the fact that I just ended up not doing these two. But yeah, we got the nameplate, all the stuff on the table I added. You can see the color there. I just painted it that blue. Usually there's a lieutenant that comes there. And then these two would be the rooms where C-3PO and R2-D2 are, and one of them where there's guards like looking out. I think it was on top here was the guards. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think I went through everything that I ended up having to do. I'm on the second floor. I might have gotten a little bit lost in the sauce and excited about talking about the stuff. But yeah, now let's into the review. I would say this is an awesome set. It's hard to bring up this set and not bring up the new Death Star that's coming out. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll know that I am actually big fan of the new design. I'm really people in the comment section of that video really thought I was a shill just because I loved it so much. But no, I'm just really excited. I think it's a really cool design. And I feel like you guys aren't really fully seeing how big it's going to be. Like, it's definitely going to be bigger than this for 9,000 pieces. And I really like the open display. Some people like the more accurate view, but I like the play features in my opinion. But anyways, I think this has cool play features, definitely. The builds are cool. The cannon is definitely better. Yeah, I think the designs are a bit clunky and old because, you know, it came out, I think this is the 2008 one. Yeah, no. When did this come out? 2012? I don't know. Didn't do my research. I definitely know, but I'm blanking right now. But yeah, you can tell how old it is, and we were due for a new one, so it's definitely not in the best of sets, but it is pretty, considering how big it is, I would say it is very easy to recreate. Not like it takes you 2 weeks easy, but you can do it easy, if you know what I'm saying. Essentially, yeah, I would, now for the score, I would definitely give it a solid 83 out of 100, because I'm doing it out of 100 now, or I think I've always done it in this series, but 83 out of 100 is my final score for this set, on how easily it can be recreated, which means I say you should brick it rather than buy it, because honestly, even if you do have like the least amount of like bricks in your collection, you will be able to do this, because I do not have very many. I ended up, like, just buy yourself a set of markers, obviously paint pens so that it comes off, but yeah, you will be able to do this. I give it an 83. Brick it rather than buy it. That's all I got for you guys today. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one probably soon. So yeah, see you guys in the next one.